how I could feel that, hey, I'm pretty cool up here. But as a well-seasoned believer, can I use that term? As a well-seasoned believer, I know that this is not who I am. This is who God made me to be, and I'm allowing God to speak through me. And that's in anything that we do, in our jobs, in our lives as moms or dads, or anything that we do. When we allow God to work through us, we are good people. And that's not something to pat ourselves on the back for, saying, oh, look at me up here. I'm awesome. No, God is awesome. You just have to allow God to use you. And that's what I've done, is pushed myself out of the way and said, okay, God. And I do it every time before I get up here. I close my eyes and pray, and I say, you speak through me. I'll be your mouthpiece. I will stand up here and allow God to speak through me. So just think of that this week as you're doing things, and what can you allow God to do through you? And if you just allow him to, if you just close your eyes, just picture him and say, Jesus, work through me and allow me to be your peace. So we're going to do some worshiping. Close your eyes, sing along, pray, do what you do, and praise our God.
Use me in all my brokenness. Bring glory to you, Lord. And Father, I just ask that you open our minds. Father, help us to surrender. Help us to give up the fight. Help us to lay down our pride. And help us to allow you into our lives. Father, I just ask that you be with the broken, you be with the poor, you be with the hungry, you be with the righteous, to give somebody a ride to a treatment center. And it's one of the greatest times to talk to somebody about Christ, or to love on somebody. You know, I'm not even talking about Christ, because love, it shows God right there. And the phrase that was used today was, I'm just not ready yet. I'm just not ready yet was that phrase. That phrase that I heard today when I was telling somebody, I'm going to tell you the story right now. When I was telling someone about Jesus, I was telling him why it was perfect timing to make this choice to acknowledge who God is. I told him why it was perfect timing, because he had nothing left. Absolutely nothing. Not a house, not a job, not a dollar, nothing. So I sat there all day pondering his phrase, I'm just not ready yet. Why isn't somebody not ready to accept love for something that we're all chasing through people, through things, through this world? So I thought he had nothing left, but I was totally wrong. I was totally wrong that this man actually had something. You know, it owns me before others. I will disown before my Father in heaven. I know when I had a problem acknowledge Jesus before other people, it was my pride that was stopping me. I was scared about what you were going to think about me. Or if I was right. Or if I was Christian enough. Gosh, I hate that word. To have full restoration, one must admit they cannot live life with what they know and what they have. One must admit that for once, they don't have all the answers. That you actually don't know what you're doing. You have to admit it. You have to ask for help if you want to have full restoration. What's up, Anthony?
What's
once we admit that we don't have all the answers, we finally step out of the way for once. We finally give up. We finally allow God to do what He's best at doing. You know, Jesus died and suffered hoping that one day we would publicly accept Him. That one day we would secretly accept Him. He just wants you to accept His love so others will do the same. Imagine the effect you can have on the people you surround yourself with if you allow His love to pour out of you. Imagine the restoration of this world that could take place if you got out of the way. And if you stopped concerning yourself with I so much, but start concerning yourself with what God wanted. God has a purpose and a plan. I know there was a time there where I was putting God in this box. And I would only get Him out when I needed Him. When I was in jail, when I was wherever. Father, I just won't do it. Please get me out of here. Please get me out of here. I promise I won't use. I promise. That promise sure went out the window right when I got out. Those foxhole prayers. I didn't know God had great things in store for me. I didn't know He wanted to use me. Maybe I'll be poor, maybe I'll be rich. But He wants to use me in a great way. And no matter which way He uses me, we will have joy. No matter what we have, we will have joy if we're used by God. It doesn't matter what you have, it's how you're being used. You know, He wants to use you in ways that will affect all of those you love, and all of those you despise, and all of those you don't like. He wants to use you to spread His love. He says in Romans 1:16, Paul says, for I am not ashamed of the gospel of Christ, because it is the power of God that brings salvation to everyone who believes. Absolutely everybody. This week, let's try throwing off your pride. Start being sold out for something for once. Start being concerned with something that's actually real and that matters, that will take place after death. This purpose that God has given you will carry on. This purpose that God has given you could potentially save the lives of others. That's a pretty big responsibility. It's not just the pastor's job, or the leaders, or whatever. We're all leaders, we're all pastors, we're all ministers. All He wants to do is help you. Get you through this tough world so you have a glorious relationship with Him. This world is hard, it's bitter, it's tough, it'll eat you up and spit you out. But, if you have Christ, if you have God's love, we can go through with joy, go through all our trials and tribulations with love, with joy, with perseverance, and with hope. That this isn't where it ends. This is just the beginning. There's so much more to have. There's so much more to go on to. If we could just make it through this bit. Well, we got one more video, and we'll be done for tonight. But remember, as you're out there on a daily basis, that your sin, the evil in this world is trying to crop itself up. It's trying to take root in your life. And you have to deliberately shut it down. You have to deliberately call on Christ, who has all authority in this world, to take it out. And if you stop for one day, it will take root. It will crop up. If you stop for one day doing the things that you know what to do, that helps you, that saves you from being the person that you could be, the addictions that could crop up, the alcoholism that can come up, whatever it may be. Be persistent. Always, always allow others to help you. Well, Father, I just thank you, Lord. I thank you for you providing this time. I ask that you help us to take out the pride in our life and to be able to admit defeat, because we know that starting at defeat, we are victorious with you. Lord, I just ask that your love be real in people's lives in here, and that they be poured into over abundance so they can be poured out to the ones they love, Father. Father, I ask that you protect them as they go out throughout the week, that you keep the devil who prowls around like a roaring lion away from them. And Father, that they know that they can count on you when needed. Father, I just praise you for all your glory and all your love in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.